Neatsy AI is a sneaker startup that wants to solve this sneaker sizing problem by 3D scanning your foot with your phone. So the sneaker startup called Neatsy AI snagged $1 million in funding to provide a personalized recommendation for sneaker brands like Nike, Jordan, Adidas, and others. Neatsy claims that their tech can measure its foot accuracy within 1 to 2 millimeters. So I think this is a pretty interesting idea, and I'm actually a pretty big fan of it. You know, it would be kind of interesting to know what exactly your size will be, especially when you're shopping online. So like if you could just scan your foot ahead of time, then when you're shopping, you're like, oh, okay, Adidas runs small or runs big, and then it automatically knows which one to go. But Lan, what are your thoughts on that? Because I'm more of a techie guy. Clearly you're not. So do you think, well, I mean, compared to me, but do you think, is that something you would be able to use? Would you ever scan your foot to see and shop around like that?
I don't personally think that it would help me a ton, but I am a fan of the idea because I kind of know what I wear in most models. The only way I would really need that is like if a new model came out, like say the Jordan Separate, if it for some reason fits a lot differently. A lot of retailers, if it's not a hype shoe, a lot of retailers are going to allow returns and stuff like that, so not a huge deal. But as someone who puts out endless reviews on YouTube about shoes and then gets asked about sizing and how they'd fit, I honestly,
you guys,
not a shot. No. I'm just saying it would help those people better than I could. Like I can say it fits my foot like this. It kind of fits like this. It kind of looks like this.
That's very
it
true.
kind of feels like this, but I think it solves all kinds of problems because with hype releases, you have to know. You have to know going into it because if you get a size 10 and you end up needing a size 10 and a half, you're going to have to pay more money for it. Or you sell that shoe or you trade it. That's your only option because it's once it sells out online, it pretty much sells out unless you're just able to get on those restocks, which is super rare. So I will say that the sizing would help for that aspect because a lot of stuff is switching to online. It wouldn't have mattered a few years ago or maybe a little bit more than a few whenever in-store shopping would have been great for COVID. For COVID and stuff like that because people can't go try stuff on. You want to get that shoe at the exact size. I wonder if like they can like tell you how a shoe fits, if they're gonna like import. What if they like imported like the shoe model and like kind of told you how it runs and says like this is a compatible match for your foot, like say a wider foot.
That's exactly what they're doing.
So they're importing the shoe model,
so
it compares your foot to it.
Yeah, they're scanning the model and then they're scanning the shoe and they're saying, hey, this runs a little big, you probably want a bigger size. Or
really?
Size.
I was going to say, because you're going to need to know, because just knowing what your foot size is, you should kind of know that. Yeah, right? So you're going to need to know how it is compared to that specific. Exactly. That's intriguing. That is definitely, I feel like especially, I don't want to say especially for sports, but like for someone who needs to get the shoe that's going to fit the right way. That's always like I'm this type of player or I want this type of shoe. I wonder just how descriptive they're going to get because...
Well, we've seen comments where like, hey, I prefer a little to hug my foot, or I like a little bit more room. So on that, you can't really tell by just you can't just go off your normal shoe size because even then those millimeters difference could actually affect if you like it or even return it.
It's going to be so much work, I feel like, but it's one of those things where once you get it in and you kind of have it done, it's just, but you have to import all those new models if you want to stay up to date. Like the Jordan Separate drops, you got to put it in. The Jordan 37 drops, you got to put it in. And like
every new colorway probably, because I
don't think colorways would be an issue. I think they'll probably do the most basic stock photo. It's got to be models. If they put colorways in there, it's going to be over. Like that's way too much. Well, I mean, I imagine you have a pretty big team. If you went ahead and outsourced, would you say like $1 million is what they got approved for?
They got funded for about $1 million.
Funded for about $1 million. So
well, I mean, I've never had sizing issues because I don't buy as many shoes as you do.
No, you're
from comparing colorway to colorway. Have you ever had a size difference? Oh, okay. So it's pretty standard
it'll be standard based off the model. So the colorway shouldn't play a factor. But I mean, there's so many shoes out there, and how far back do you go? Because like even some shoe models, it's tough. But I have had some shoe models where you search it in on GOAT and it's not there. So if you wanted to sell this shoe, you couldn't sell it on GOAT. It's not there. So like, do they draw a line like we're gonna import stuff as fast as we can, or we're not starting this? It's not. Is it available now? Or they're working on it? I don't know. Because if it's not available now, when do you launch it? Because that's so many shoes. Do you get every shoe that's on the market first and then go live? Or do you go live and start adding more models and models, take requests? Hey, this model's not on there. Could you look into this one for me? Are you accepting emails and stuff like that?
So the way Neatsy was reading the article, they more pivoted to not bringing it to the consumer. They were more partnering with the manufacturer, like with Nike
the brands.
and stuff. Right. So they would say like, hey, we have the tech, you have the shoes, let's partner up. We'll put it directly into Nike's website and already have them all scanned
Ooh.
in. So
That's
I think
smart.
it's going to be more seamless that way. So I don't know
And
if
that's
it's,
both. So that'll only matter for
Right.
shoes on the market then, because
Right.
it'd have to be available at a certain
So,
retailer.
well,
So you wouldn't be able to go
who knows?
back.
I mean, who knows? I mean,
Like-
who knows what Nike has in backstock?
I'm just saying the Kyrie 6 is no longer on
Maybe,
Nike's
but-
site, so you won't be able to get
But
the
they might have a
Nietzsche
pair. You never
recommendation.
know. You never know. I don't know what they have in backstock, but I think it's
It's a cool idea.
Yeah, I think it's going to definitely change how we shop online, especially seeing, just exactly how we shop and knowing exactly what you're going to get and how it's going to fit, especially when it comes to shoe shopping, is almost one of those hurdles that shoe manufacturers have to hop over. Thanks for watching this clip from the Laced Up Show.
If you want to watch the full episode, go ahead and click here. And to subscribe for more sneaker related content, click here. But until next time, peace.